Debate with Bake. Season 4. Let's go. Here we go, Debate with Bake Sports Show. Season 4, live at Mo City Radio. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We just giving opinions, supporting it with proof. Let's look at the stats, cause numbers tell the truth. It ain't no hating, we just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Shout out the prize picks for the daily fantasy. Invest a few dollars, let's do some gambling. See, Vick got the topics and he keep it cracking. Laro got the commentary and he never lacking. Cole with the game, he live from the Big Apple. You know, most serious entertainment made it happen. Another sports show, we live from the Mo. Debate with Bake, season 4. Let's go.
That's right. Welcome back to another episode of Debate with Bake, DWB, Season 4, Episode 7. Thank you for the round of applause, Chuck. Man, we back in it, man. We back at it. We got a lot to talk about. Shout out to the Most Serious family, to Chuck, man, to everybody that's been tuning in, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We got a lot of business to talk about tonight, bro, man. We got a lot going on. Of course, everybody knows the tournament going on. We get into spring. The bats are going to be alive. The baseball, we got to do a better job this year talking about baseball.
I think we open up with them Mets, matter of fact.
I know. Matter of fact, I think we do. You know what I'm saying? You're right about that. But anyway, what's up, everybody, man? We back in the building, the sports center of Most Serious Entertainment. Go to mostserious.com to check us out. Check out the other acts that we also have on this family. And we here to get it, man. We here to get it. We going all the way to the boroughs. We come back through Most City, where we at, and then we go through, we swing through the trade to Third Ward. But let's go out to the boroughs, man. What's going on with you, Cole? I see you over there, man. What is the climate in New York, both weather and sports-wise? What's going on, man?
Right now it's raining, and I can't wait for it to go away. It's been raining all day. Sports-wise, it's actually been pretty exciting. You know, we got Justin Fields, then we get Jameis Winston. It might be the first time New York has 2 black starting quarterbacks, at one time. So that's pretty dope. You got the Yankees and Mets playing their preseason games, and it's getting closer and closer. So everyone's getting that baseball fever. And then we got the Knicks, who are up and down, but we're getting to see, what we look like without Brunson and what we need going forward. So a lot to be excited for. But overall things are well. How you guys doing, fellas?
Man, we doing good, man. We got Ro sitting over here to the right of me, man. And when Ro walk in, man, I know everything is all right. Ro, what's going on with you, man?
Oh man, same thing, different day, man. It's looking up, man. Like I said, I'm sorry to hear that on the East Coast cold, but yeah, man, we sunny days and throwing up trays out here, man. It's looking good, man.
That's right,
what I'm saying?
That's right. We throw up the tray for the Trey Ward where my man Ro from. And back in the day, I know Chuck remember this, Ro, you remember this too, but they used to refer to us as the Third Coast, right?
Oh, for sure.
When East and West used to have flex. Shout out to my man DJ Screw and the whole Screwed Up family. That's something you wouldn't know about, Cole. But we'll get to that later on when we get in the music podcast, Cole. Man, we'll educate you a little bit. Everybody know New York culture, but I kind of put you on a little bit about the Southern Houston culture. Let me not say Southern Houston. Yeah. We got a whole lot of acts, but that's for another time. But let's get to the business at hand, man. Like, we could talk about music all night, but we got to get on these sports. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We need those likes. We need that support. Shout out to everybody that get in the chat, man. Get in the chat. Give us your comments. Give us something to talk about on top of our topics, man. But we appreciate those that participate, man. All right, let's get into it. The news that's everywhere, of course, the ever famous NCAA tournament, man. We are now down to the Sweet 16, and it's looking good. I think all number ones are still in it, and I'm talking about Duke, Florida, U of H, and Auburn. So, of course, us Cole down here being in Houston, we love the fact that our Houston Cougars are still in it. But let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it. I want to ask both of y'all and everybody in the chat, man, like, is it any game or anything that stuck out to you about this first round? Let's go with you, Cole. Let's talk about anything that stuck out to you about this first round, and any surprises or anything that caught you off guard, or anything that you appreciated or you didn't appreciate about the first couple rounds of the NCAA tournament.
No, I loved it, man. Maryland, I don't have Maryland winning, but McQueen is like one of my favorite players. So I was happy to see him take over at the end of the game and hit that game-winning shot. Looking at everything else, I suspected, Auburn was going to do what Auburn does. I actually think Auburn's probably going to win it all. I feel like they do have the most complete team. Duke is Duke, But overall, like I'm rooting for the underdogs. You know how I roll. So if I could see Maryland win, or I even like this kid. A lot of big surprises. Carr from Michigan State. He's definitely an NBA prospect. So I like seeing some of these young up and coming. Jose Barea, Kentucky. All these dudes like that, man.
Yeah. Any team code that surprised you so far, whether it be upset or
Arkansas.
What I mean by upset, I mean whether they upset somebody or somebody you had high hopes for that ended up being upset by the other team. Arkansas. They
upset St. John's. St. John's is doing the whole comeback thing. This is one of their better years. And they'll be back next year. I think Patino's starting to put something together. But I just love to see Calipari do his thing. The way he left Kentucky last year, I kind of felt like, damn, it's not the way someone leaves after they brought so much success to a program. And then he got one of my favorite players from FAU, that point guard, number 1. Can't remember his name, but he's pretty nice, man. I
like that kid.
He's like a 5th-year senior or something, but I like him for a long time, man.
Bro, what you think, man? Anything in the first round that you like seeing? Anything caught you off guard, upset-wise, whether you had a team to win it or a team that surprised you, a dark horse or anything?
Oh man, no, I really enjoyed it. I say a piggyback on Cole. I enjoyed the Arkansas St. John's matchup, man. That old it's something about that Calipari Patino matchup that always brings a little bit of magic. So I called it right, and I like Arkansas going pretty far, to be all the way honest with you. Other than that, not many surprises. Unfortunately, I'm just the hometown guys. We looked very mortal and not one seed. The 2 1 seeds that looked vulnerable to me were definitely Florida and us. You know what I'm saying? Gonzaga is a game. They're a game of squad. So it's like you really got to beat them. Few ain't never gonna have them not ready. So I wasn't too surprised or taken aback by that. So I've still got high hopes for us going, making at least the Final Four run just on defense alone. And what we bring to the table. But man, I like Alabama going pretty far. I got all the matchups kind of as it stands. I don't know how many times we've seen this Duke Arizona guy.
Right.
But ain't nothing wrong with that either. And Duke's still my champ in the Natty. I called it right. It's like there weren't too many big surprises other than like Carolina bowing out quick. Quicker than expected. Right. And I don't know, Texas getting bounced. I thought they could make a little bit more noise than they made. And then I don't know that Kansas. I knew that Kansas going down. I knew them Jayhawks were going out first round, so that was the first one coming. Colorado State made a lot of noise, right quick, and threw some scares into folks. But other than that, all the rest was fool's gold. The McNeese State was all right for about 5 minutes. Right. Wasn't anything to get really. There won't be a really true Cinderella this year outside of Arkansas. Maybe Cal and Arkansas. But Cinderella ain't really going down. This is going to be a Final Four power tournament.
Right. And to speak to your point about Arkansas, I don't even consider them a Cinderella team, because even though their record is not what we think they are, I think talent-wise, I thought they could play with anybody in the country. Like, I had St. John's as a dark horse just because I like the vibe that Patino had all year with those kids.
Right, to show it to a go, that motivational speech that's on fire.
Right. But I didn't. When Arkansas beat St. John's, I didn't look at it as an upset. I thought anybody could have won that game. And even though Arkansas had a rocky year, the talent that they have on that team, I'm not surprised they're in the Sweet 16. A lot of people were surprised.
It's good to see the Johnny's back, man. Shout out to my boy Dunn, man.
Right. Now, let me ask y'all both something, because, see, here's the thing. Ro, you just made a great point. there is no Cinderella here. I think all year long, these teams, maybe with a few more, I mean, probably a UConn or something like that, but most of these teams we've seen be at the top of their conferences have had great games. Let me pose this to this panel because I'm seeing this. Like, because the scope of college basketball has changed, and I'm talking about the NIL deals, even what the teams are looking like, I noticed two things. And I could be wrong about this, but I noticed this about U of H and Duke in particular. First of all, I think U of H and Duke are the top two teams. I say Duke because of talent, and I think U of H the style of play. Now, you know, U of H with this style of play, how hard they guard.
It's designed to win 6 games in a row.
Right. The only major critique I've had about U of H over the past years is that Kelvin, as hard as they play, they only go 6 or 7 deep. But it looks like he's using his bench a little bit more. But I noticed a few things. Just the scope of college basketball, and I want to ask y'all this if y'all agree with this. Number one, to get far in this tournament, what I'm noticing, I could be wrong, up for debate. First of all, these teams are getting older. And what I mean by that in particular,
graduate students out
right.
there,
You're not seeing a lot of freshmen and sophomores other than Duke, because the Duke is the creme de la creme. I mean, you're going to have talent.
Michigan State had that Jay Rich's kid out there doing a little bit of work.
Right, you know, but still, and that's an outlier to me.
Right, it's not young, it's not common.
Right. I think nowadays, because of the NIL, because of the transport portal, because I heard Patino say it, he kind of alluded to it earlier this year, but I'm seeing it now. It's like you got these older guys playing. That's one thing I'm noticing. Number two, you either got to have, well, number one is you got to have.
You got younger, older guys too, like the Love kid in Arizona. Right. It was like, man, he might have hit 29 on him, and it's like
he's been on 3 different teams.
He's getting the college experience. I'm telling my boy, you playing college ball, you do it like that.
Right, because he was at Carolina, Michigan, now he at Arizona.
Yeah, that's right there, yo.
Yeah.
Was that a Final Four appearance in Carolina?
I think so. They got close. Yeah, right. So, but to speak to that, I think it's these kids are older, and you got to be able to guard. When I look at Duke, as talented as they are, they guard. U of H, of course, guards. Michigan State gonna always guard. Arkansas gonna get up in you. I like the Tennessee and Kentucky matchup. I think that's gonna be a matchup of top 10 defense, presses, and all that. But those are the two things that stuck out to me so far when I look at this Sweet 16 and the climate of college basketball to be successful. Houston got LJ Cryer, 5 or 6 years.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
He's nice, putting in work.
Right.
He went to
Baylor. He was at Baylor, and he might have been on that championship team with one of those teams.
Davion Mitchell and the rest of
so, and I can see why he would leave Baylor. Of course, the climate of the transport portal, but it was a lot of guards over there. He probably wasn't getting the time that he thought he should have been getting. But I'm noticing that, man, these teams are older, and they got to be able to guard. With the exception of Duke, I think Duke guards, but Duke is just the creme de la creme. Like, when you think about Duke, it's like the transport portal probably doesn't really impact them. You're gonna have the top academic guys, athletic guys, and it's like, what I'm saying. They probably turning people down.
And I like Duke for the natty for that reason alone. Because I said, with Cooper, I haven't seen a freshman with that kind of impact since Zion, since Slash, almost mellow. It's almost mellowish.
And let me stop you right there before I forget that while you bring up Cooper and Cole. I don't know if you know this, but you know, y'all know he classified up. He's technically supposed to be a senior in high school right now.
Whoa.
Yes. Whoa. He classified up.
So he's ready. So that just speaks more to his aptitude and his ceiling.
Exactly. Like they knew it was going to be no benefit for him staying at high school.
He's going to be like an upgrade, Luka. He's going to be like a Luka upgrade.
I mean, but the scary part about it is
he's athletic.
More athletic.
He can move.
No, but this could be one of the better drafts of back in the day when they had like LeBron, Wade, Carmelo, and all them come out. Because I'm looking. Sometimes I look at Cooper Flag, and sometimes I don't wonder if he's the number 1 pick.
Well,
he's the number 1 pick.
That's debatable.
I hear you though.
It's debatable though, Cole. That's a good point. It's debatable.
I'm gonna name some players right now that I freaking love. I love McQueen. I think McQueen is gonna be a monster in the league, yo. I think that he has the inside-outside game handle, left, right. He could do it all.
He kind of got a Stephon Castle game a little. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if he's dude that I slept on was I think it's Clemson's point guard. Is it Fears?
Yep.
This kid reminds me of like a little bit of Darren Williams,
And you just stole it from me because I was gonna bring that up. Go ahead. Yes.
I'm looking at him and I'm like, yo, this kid is like, and he's an athlete, like D Rose.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, this kid could be
a lot of potential there. Yes.
And then you got the 2 kids in Rutgers.
Yes.
Basil or Brazil, I forgot how to say his name, and the other point guard. Those 2 are dirty. And then you're looking at Danny Wolf in Michigan.
And see, that's the thing, Cole. It all depends too. The talent is out there. Are these guys going to enter the draft too? You know what I'm saying? Because if like those guys you just named, if they enter the draft, and here's the thing about Flag, he ain't really declared yet. We don't even know if
he's still being offered $5 million a year to stay at Duke.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Like, do you go play for the Wizards or do you take $5 million a year and continue to have fun in college?
Right. And it also depends on too, because it's like, okay, you know you're going number 1 either year. I mean, somebody will rise up next year. We don't know, but the talent
is there. In BYU, AJ B,
right.
With a B, yeah.
Right.
And he's easily, or arguably, the best Duke product to this point. It remains to be seen, but it's like we know how the others shake up, and a lot of them don't exactly pan out once it gets to the league.
And see, when I say that, I'm gonna let you spin on that. When I say that, I said that in my job, and people had a problem.
They got
I'm like,
because it's Dookies to the core, some kind of way.
He might be the best thing since Grant Hill.
Yeah. I think that's not even a bold statement. That's actually a statement of.
I got criticized for
like.
I'll tell you why
they win it this year, and you got a lot. We can throw that right back in their faces because that's really.
I'll tell you why I think he's that nice is you don't see players come up into Rucker and dominate and not be scared and playing in the middle of, New York City, Harlem, and kill out there.
And let's just bring out hold on. Let's just bring out the elephant in the room. All right, let's just say it because we say stuff on this podcast, and that's what I love about it. Let's just get down to it. When's the last time we seen a white boy this nice? 6'10", they could do everything. Because if I was thinking about that the other day, the last one I remember, similar skill set but not as athletic, was a crash in the league. Was Adam Morrison.
I got 2. That's true, and that's you took one of mine. I got one more deeper than that. Yeah, the Gonzaga for sure. I was gonna say like a Keith Van Horn or
close
from Utah,
and even then
like he got more game, more range.
Yeah, right.
Like Keith Van Horn's more of a 4,
right? But this kid, and you're right because I named him after the other kid, Morrison kid, but they still don't have the athleticism of this kid.
Not at all.
Or the heart.
Maybe one of them kids at Arizona, like what was his name, Chase
Budinger.
Yeah,
he didn't have a game. He had the athletic talent,
athleticism, but
didn't have a game.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh man,
because it's like he's much nicer than like a Christian Leitner.
Oh yeah,
one of those guys like
that. And more athletic. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. He's gonna be in the Drew League. That boy gonna be all over the summer league, man. I mean. And it's legit game. It ain't no favoritism. It's damn near white chocolate, but white chocolate was a point guard. It's like, it's pretty undeniable.
Right. And I don't know. And that's what's scary about it, man. He classified up. Like,
you know what I mean? Tied Zion, little recent record.
Right.
He went on matched it again a couple times just for shits and giggles because Duke ain't gonna let nobody just rewrite shit like that.
Right. All right. Before we get to fantasy, because both of y'all brought up some great points. This is a great discussion. All right, let's get to it. Who wins it all? Cole, let's get your pick. Then we'll go to Ro, and then we'll go to mine. But who wins it all, Cole, and tell us why. Who you going with?
I'm probably gonna have to go with Auburn. I think just the whole season, every big game they won. And I think they got a dominant force with Broom. And they're just gritty. I don't think that they have to. I think they're going to grind it out defensively, and I think that's what always matters at the end. Is if you could play defense and you could score timely buckets, and you're more well-rounded. I'm gonna go with Auburn.
You rhyme with Auburn, okay? All right. Ro, what you got? And tell us why.
I mean, I'm rocking with Duke, man. This is the first time I've done it in a while. I've been historically a Carolina guy, just in terms of that rivalry, my exposure to the rivalry. I kind of hate Duke. I ain't a Blue Devil by nature, to be all the way honest. But this kid, between Kyrie and this kid, they have won me over, at least won and commanded my attention and earned what they got. Because you know what? Boy, sleep, but Paolo was nice too.
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero was nice out there.
He was nice.
As a matter of fact, Cooper looks a lot like him with a better jumper. To be honest, he's doing a lot of things that Paulo did while he was at Duke at such a young age. So
I don't think he'll be better. Pablo was different.
But you know what they'll call in our, and that's a great. You're not wrong, but Pablo is different because of what manifested in the league too. Like Pablo's college game wasn't better than this kid, but when we seen Pablo get to the league, it's like, whoa,
he can do this.
He can do this too. What I'm saying? Like,
and it was filthy, but dude, he didn't have the tools of what Flag has.
True.
That's my point. Like no handlers. Like he's almost like old Robert Ory was back in the H. But it's like my final four. I got Michigan State. I got Maryland out there and on one side, and I got Duke going through us to get there, and then Duke taking it, man.
Yeah, man, listen. To me, the top two teams is Duke and U of H. Duke talent, it's just the talent is superior. The scary part about Duke is they won their conference tournament without Flag. Like they got 3 or 4 different pros, maybe 5. And then, I mean, shout out to Bel Air because that kid is going over there. That kid is going to be nice in the Houston area.
The thing about them is, bro, like their biggest strength is their biggest weakness too, apparently, because it's like that new coach, the kid that looks like Dirk or whoever they. Who was that out there? They got out there.
Is it Shire?
Is it Shire? John Shire? Yeah. But it's like I want to say that hurts them at times because it's like who can't miss a Coach K at times, but. It's life after Coach K, and it's like it's proven to benefit them. He's
proven that
he's taken his lumps a couple of years.
I thought they would fall off more than this. Like for me, talent wise, they look superior. For me, U of H, it's how they guard. It's how they guard, man. It's how they guard, and I think they got a shot because Kelvin is using the bench a little bit more. That's been my biggest criticism of Kelvin Sampson is that. He only runs 6 or 7 deep, and the way they play when you get deep in the tournament, they don't have any legs. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Kelvin has made that adjustment, and maybe he has the talent to where he's letting it spread out a little bit more. No disrespect to Cole's pick. I think to Cole's point, I think Auburn has been great all year. It's just something is missing from them. Well, I don't know what it is.
And my only knock on Auburn is the avenue of getting there. You know what I'm saying? They got the easiest route to get there. I don't feel like they're going to be challenged.
And I know that the SEC, shout out to them, I think they had like 14 teams in the tournament or something like that. And I know they've gone through a gauntlet down there in the SEC. I don't think we need to sleep on Tennessee or Kentucky either.
At all.
But I just think, to me, all year long, it's been Duke and U of H. I think U of H has one of the longest winning streaks all year.
This is 6 straight Sweet 16s.
Right. And I just think the way they play. And if they do meet in the championship game, I'm not looking at a bracket right now. If it's Duke and Houston, I probably would edge it to Duke just because of the talent. But
I don't think they can.
You don't think they got to go through each other?
Yeah,
okay, so then that explains why Rose said that. Then I probably have Duke edging U of H.
Duke is in the East and U of H is in the Midwest.
So they would meet in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
but on that side, they won't meet in the Natty.
Right. Okay.
They'll meet in the Final Four.
So then, to Rose's point, if they do meet in the Final Four, I just think Duke got too much talent.
Duke has to play Alabama, though. They have to play Alabama. That's going to be a goodie.
Bama and Auburn, man,
look alike.
Yeah, they look alike, and it's something missing from them teams, man. They've been tough all year. To your point, Cole,
it's ended up just like football, like you said about the SEC. You got to go through the gauntlet,
right?
Conference play, and making it. So it's like all them teams getting nods. It ain't no joke, but is it built to sustain a 6-game run?
And then it's like the old NFC East. By the time the Cowboys and the Commanders and the Eagles run through each other, they ain't got enough for the rest of the conference. So it could be that, but shout out to the SEC, man. But if I had to ride
2 1 seeds from the SEC, Florida and who's the other one?
Dude, they had I don't have original bracket.
Number.
Yeah, from the original bracket. Dang, I think they put 13 teams in the tournament.
Kentucky and Tennessee. That's gonna be
Like they loaded, like the SEC in basketball is becoming like the SEC in football. Like in football, it's the NFL. It's becoming. It looks like it's gonna be the NBA pretty soon. But if I had to pick one team, man, I say Duke. I just think the talent is superior, man. Not only flag, but I just think by them winning the conference tournament, I just think they did that without flag, man.
This is like a victory lap, in all honesty, because it's like
right. But anyway, I don't think it's any Cinderellas, but we'll see, man. I'm excited, man. I think the first game start on Friday or Saturday.
So
Thursday.
if we was to go through this, real quick, give me y'all quick picks, right? You got Texas Tech or Arkansas?
I got Arkansas.
Yeah, I got Arkansas.
You got Kentucky or Tennessee?
Kentucky.
Man, I don't know.
I take them Vols, baby.
I think the Vols, man.
I think them Vols. This is a down year for Tennessee. Kentucky ain't got the shooters right now.
And I hate to go against Kentucky because I really didn't expect. I'm not calling them a Cinderella. I didn't expect them to get here.
Got you.
So
That's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
go.
saying.
Yeah.
It's like they shoot more threes than anybody in the country, but they real low. They don't have the shooters. And it's like they play hard.
And then I gotta ask myself about them. Did they really have a bad year, or is it the SEC that good? You know what I'm saying?
The latter.
Yeah.
The latter.
So
Florida or Maryland?
that's gonna be a great game.
I like Maryland.
I think Maryland has the best player, which always gives you a chance. But I think Florida is a little bit too much for them.
Yeah. I think Florida's guards, man.
Yeah, what's the kid's name?
The little
McQueen?
light skin
Yeah,
guard,
not McQueen. The light skinned kid.
from Florida.
Was it
Point guard?
Yeah. Nice.
He took over at the end because
he did.
He beat UConn at the end because UConn had them boys pegged. Like I said, I
Yeah.
was really gonna call that. I thought they were gonna be the weakest. They the weakest one seed.
So Coach Hurley said they got put right.
I mean, I understand that too.
But that's him.
But they
I expected to say that. Shout out to Coach Hurley.
They didn't score a basket from like the 7-minute mark on in that
they
game.
kinda killed
Some kind of way. It's
yeah.
like they just went away from what got them there. And they had them boys.
Right.
All y'all got Houston over Purdue.
Over Edie-less Purdue, I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
people
It's not gonna be a walk in the park. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be. If Houston don't come with their A game, they could lose that game. But I got them winning.
They'll beat them better than they beat Gonzaga, I think.
They can't make them same mistakes they made against Gonzaga. They had to come back and beat them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Gonzaga come ready.
Yeah.
You know, boys,
Ole Miss or Michigan State?
State.
Yeah, I like Carr. There's something about Carr. Man. Now, honestly, when I look at Carr, all I see is an NBA athlete. I think this dude is bound to go top 15.
No, you got a good point. You got a good point.
See, and you got to look at it from the conference standpoint, like Vick said, like they sent all those teams. Now, did all those teams deserve to go? More than likely. Tell you, I'm being all the way honest, more than likely. But for a run of success, they're not just bulldogging it like that. They won 2 games, Sweet 16 appearance, and you really outdid yourself. So.
Right.
BYU or Alabama?
Alabama. I like Bama.
I like Bama. I don't know much about BYU.
Yeah, they kind of been stealing.
Yeah.
All y'all got Duke over Arizona.
Yeah,
but it's gonna
be a game though. It's gonna be a game.
It won't be 25.
I think Caleb is gonna kill. I think he's gonna kill.
Mm-hmm. Caleb Love going on.
And y'all got Auburn over Michigan.
Look, he gonna be at Duke next year if he don't.
I got Auburn over Michigan, but I got my man Wolf doing his thing.
Yeah, I think I got Auburn.
And that's going to be a closer game than people think. I got Auburn, but that's going to be a close game.
Because Michigan didn't look great to me.
No.
Last couple rounds. Michigan didn't
But
look great.
again, Auburn, man, they don't look superior to me, man. I think they can be beaten by anybody, but I also believe they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
But I got them over Michigan.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just wanted to go through the brackets with y'all, kind of get y'all opinions. I figured for the most part, y'all be on the same page.
Yeah,
look, bro, look like my shit. I've been killing, bro. Like I've been killing, and that's a humbug bracket because I picked Georgia to get rocked in the first round, but then filled out another bracket and did it the other way like a fool. So it's like I ain't get all the points.
Do you have a perfect bracket?
I ain't got no perfect. It ain't perfect, but I'm
I'm
right around like 88, 90%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
he still got to win the bracket.
Like the first round, everybody's still alive. You know what I'm saying? I did this shit like I wish Notre Dame was around. A nigga look like a little leprechaun, Irish motherfucker. I got on my purple today, but look, you know what I'm saying? That first round, I was money, bro. I mean, out of the field of 64, I might have called. I might have lost 3, maybe.
All right, let me ask this question before we move on to the picks. Or was that the picks, Chuck?
No,
not the picks. All right, let me ask this question to the panel and anybody else. If there's any upset in this Sweet 16 matchup, talking about what we're looking at now, what Chuck just took us through, who would it be?
BYU.
Okay. You think BYU could beat Alabama?
I don't think they could beat
but
Alabama,
that would be a
big upset to me. I think that's the only lock outside of who is it? Auburn and Michigan at the top. Because I think
so. You think anybody else can lose these games, but for example, you think Alabama should not lose that game against BYU? Okay.
You know what? I'll go with the obvious choice. If Duke finds a way to retard and Duke that game and lose to Arizona as good as Arizona is, that would be a tremendous upset and on some Cinderella stuff. Because it's like, look, with my I just go from my own standpoint. With my natty out or my national champ out like that. At the on a Sweet 16 appearance, that's a complete blind side. I think everybody in the country, they might not be an intact bracket in the country, don't have Duke in the final. You know what I'm saying? Well, Duke at least in the Elite 8.
Right. Cole, what you think? What would be the upset if something was to happen in the Sweet 16? Which game and what teams be involved?
I think Maryland, because they have the best player. I think Michigan State, because they have a coach who's done it. And their defense travels.
I'll second that. I think if Ole Miss beats Michigan State, I mean it's obvious with Duke and Arizona, but I think I just have not been high on Ole Miss. I'm not gonna say that they're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, they got the benefit of playing that brutal SEC.
Right.
And they've beaten teams. Don't get that's the thing. They've really earned their right to be here. That's what I'm saying. I can't knock what they've done.
And I kind of understand what you're saying about Bama and BYU because we don't know much about them. But I think that's probably that. There you go. That's the 2-6 matchup. I think both of those 2-6 matchups would be the upsets to me with Alabama, BYU, but even more so with Michigan State versus Ole Miss. I think Arizona could beat Duke. I don't think it'll happen, but I think those 2-6 matchups would be both of them would be the upsets for that Sweet 16. So I don't know. But with that being said, let's bleed on over, man. Let's get into these fantasy picks, Chuck. Let's see what we got, man, and let's see if we can make a little bit of a bankroll. Shout out to Debate with Bait Podcast, Most Serious. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe as Chuck gets us ready for the fantasy picks of the week, going to the NCAA tournament itself.
Yeah, so dig this. What we're going to do, since we in the spirit of Sweet 16, we're going to choose 6 players, college players, from the games that's coming up this week.
Okay.
Right? And then we're going to go higher, lower on their points. We'll keep it real simple. We'll just focus on points. And so that way we won't be hanging out here too long. Shout out to Prize Picks for the opportunity to gamble. And so Prize Picks is giving us some free money. So I'm going to take that. That's they'll do that like to kind of incentivize gambling, right? And so the free money here is a Cooper flag for more than 1 point. That's the free money.
That is free
so
money.
We'll take the free money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, but now they really fishing for that.
But now that we move past that, right? I think y'all a little bit more familiar with these players than I am. So anybody from Alabama that y'all like?
Not particularly. I give you one. Hold on. Let me look and see what them boys got on the roster. Because
go ahead, man.
What you say, Cole?
I would say Mark Sears under, because I think as you get deeper into the playoffs, unless you have that real dominant Cooper flag type player, I don't see a lot of people scoring with their averages. I see a lot of people getting under, and it's more spread out through the team. Unless you have that dominant alpha dog, I think you can go overs with McQueen, you could go overs with Wolf, you could go over with Flag. But there's not too many dogs out there left that can go out there, get a bucket themselves without running offense through the team.
And to speak to that, I kind of piggyback off that, Chuck. It's like I would not be interested in putting money on a lot of shooting in this point in the year.
Yeah.
Because of legs, tournament
The
time.
intensity of the tournament.
Right. I'm looking for the more high percentage guys. That's why I
But
think
then
Flag.
again, watch them veterans, like you said earlier. Watch them, these veteran players. They a lot more seasoned and a lot more poised, and I think they got some tricks up their sleeve.
If they get them high percentage shots, and I think a lot of them are. Right,
like
right.
The Clayton kid from
Right.
Florida, that point guard from Florida,
Right.
He's money in the bank. He's a senior. That boy, I've never seen somebody play
And
like that.
he doesn't live by the 3.
Nah.
So he drives. So that would be okay. All right.
All right. So do y'all have anybody from BYU that y'all like?
I don't know anything.
I don't really know BYU like that.
What about Florida?
Florida, like I said, I like Clayton.
I would either go with that point guard, Clayton. What's
you
the
think
other
Clayton
key?
gonna have more or less than 20 points?
Ooh.
I got him for more.
You think so?
One more, 21 points. Yeah, I'm telling you, I saw the kid score like 17.
No, I know
down
he
the
can.
stretch, like at will. We're good on good defense. Like a Diawara and those boys trying to do that for up. And
So,
like I said,
so last game.
So you don't think
versus
Maryland?
UConn, he had 23.
You don't think Maryland can
He
do
had
anything?
23
With it?
before that,
no,
and he had 22 against Tennessee.
Well, there you go.
I don't think they
There
can
you
do
go.
it.
He
There.
had 22 against Alabama.
So he been averaging 20 the whole tournament.
He been averaging more
Okay,
than
well
20.
then, yeah,
This
then,
kid is a senior. He's probably the
yeah,
best
then,
point.
then,
He's
then,
the best point I saw.
then it makes sense what Rose saying. He didn't average 20 plus points in the tournament.
Look at, I think so. On the season, he might be
Yeah.
averaging 20-21.
But in the last 5 games, he's averaged more than 21.
He stepped up and been taking over, and he's been doing it in such a
you think,
timely
Cole?
fashion.
Put over on McQueen.
He just
Like look at the Clayton kid line. So you want to jump
McQueen
straight.
play for Florida?
nah,
So he played for Maryland.
man. He's
Maryland.
been saying it ever since we
Maryland.
started the podcast.
And McQueen gonna get his. Like I said, on
He
Cole.
gonna get his. Like we going
Wrong.
for the definite. He's
Cole
gonna
ain't
get
wrong.
16 points. You passed him. You passed him. He on the same line as Clayton. You could leave Clayton like that.
Derek Queen.
Okay.
You said McQueen.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And
You can even
think
check his
he's
stats
gonna
the last few games if you want to.
Yeah, so he had 17 last game, 12 before that, 31 before that, 19 before that. And so the bet is he gonna have higher or lower than 17?
I say over 7. He has to. They're playing Florida.
That's safe. I think that's safe.
He's
I think,
gonna
matter of
get-
fact, I think both of them, what Rose said and what Cole said, I'm giving Cole a hard time, but I think that's safe. Over 16, of course.
Because look at this kid's line. I mean,
Like, could you see him scoring under 16 in any of these games coming up?
Nah,
I
that's
can't.
what I'm saying.
Nah.
He might shoot 10 free throws.
Right,
It's like,
right,
nah, I mean,
right.
you know. And it's like when the rubber hits the road, like I saw it win it. And I keep going back to that Florida UConn game, but it's like UConn had these boys. Y'all don't feel me. UConn had these boys. I called it upset. And it's like this kid just wouldn't stop coming. And I looked at his line at the end of the game, and it's like 6 for 14, 5 for 8 on the trade, 6 for 7 from the line. Wait a minute, this kid really played out his mind down the stretch. Like I said, once them boys went down, that's what I'm saying. It was like,
So, and even like like Chuck say, the track record is there, the average is there. It's safe to bet on him.
So
to get
I heard
20
y'all
points.
talk about Caleb Love earlier.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Higher or lower than 18 points versus
Higher.
Duke?
Higher.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Yeah, I think he'll score that in his sleep.
yeah, he coming off
against
of
anybody.
29. He been here before, man.
Yeah.
He wasn't wore every jersey.
Yeah.
I need one more player. Who y'all like from Arkansas?
Go with Berea from Kentucky. He gets a lot of shots.
The guard, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a point guard too.
Okay, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
He gonna have more than 12 points.
puts up at least 6, 7 threes a game.
I like him. I like him. At
I
12.
think that's
I like him.
even.
I
That's
like,
an
I like
that's
higher
an
than
easy.
12.
That's an
Yeah.
easy bet
Yeah, I like
too.
higher
than
Just
12.
the amount of shots that he
He had
takes.
23 points last time, 13 before that, and 8 before that, 22 before that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think he good for the 12 points.
Yeah,
Just because he gonna take the shots too,
and
he
it's
gonna make them.
it's a conference game. Aren't they playing
Yeah.
Tennessee?
Yep.
They,
That's another
they've
great
seen them
point.
boys before.
That's another great point. That's another great point. That's another great point because you get fortunate to play against a conference foe right now.
You've
You
seen them before.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that tape.
right?
Man.
Exactly. In fact, you probably don't have to spend that much time on tape
That's
because
right.
you've seen them.
And you making adjustments from the season.
Right.
And it's
right.
like you ready.
Right.
All right, well, shout out to Prize Pick for our 6-pick parlay, man. We just bet $5 for the chance to win $187 off of those 6 picks right there. We'll tap in next week after this round and see what we did.
That's right. Shout out to Prize Picks, man. Let's get it. I feel good about those picks, by the way. All right, let's get into the National Football League. We got more signings. We probably won't get to any retro stuff. I got a lot of great retro topics here, but we got some good signings, man. We got to talk about these signings and how they impact these franchises. Let's talk about the Bengals first, because it's been a lot of press behind those two big shot receivers. How are they going to sign both of them? Well, they got one of them signed. They got wide receiver T. Higgins agreeing to a 4-year, $115 million deal. Okay. And so how do we feel about that? How do we feel about Cincinnati at least being able to get Higgins in on the table? Let's go, Cole. Cole, you there?
Say that again. You chopped up.
I said, how do you feel about the Bengals locking in T. Higgins for 4 years with a $115 million deal?
I love it. I think it's about time they start paying for their players. They always giving up on people because they being stingy and don't want to spend. But I think that when you have a window open to win a championship, you already have a top 3, top 4 quarterback in the league. You already have the best receiver, and you arguably have another receiver that's top 10. You just don't give that up. And you in a competitive conference with the Ravens, who are always trying to get better, and you got the Steelers, who are consistently good, and then you have other people outside of your division like the Chiefs, who are always there, and you need the firepower. That's an excellent signing. They had to keep it.
Now, I found that funny coming from you, because you've always been the type that I'm not paying that much for a receiver. And in this particular case, it's like you got two of these guys, like they still dealing with Chase, right? They still got to lock Chase in, right?
They already did.
So they got Chase. So they got both of them.
Mm-hmm. They got both of them.
Okay. All right. So you okay with this? Because usually when it comes to these skill positions, you don't like to pay a lot, Cole. You in particular, but you okay with this?
I'm okay with it because they already got the pieces. Like, I'm not paying a lot for a skill player if I don't have a quarterback to throw to them. Right. But if you have Mahomes, you have Lamar, you have those type of quarterbacks, you need skill players, and you pay for skill players.
Right. Now, is it also? I think I'm hearing what you're saying. Are you also okay with this because they have a shot to win? Like, you have to go all out?
I'm okay with it because they have a shot to win, and you develop this homegrown talent. Like, if you develop someone who is top 10 homegrown talent, you just don't let that walk out. And the only way you let it walk out is if you build Belichick and you know how to draft and you know you're going to get equal talent, and then you could do something like that. And not every GM and coach has that type of football acumen to make those type of decisions to retool like the Eagles are doing right now.
Right. Ro, what's your thoughts on the T. Higgins? The 4-year deal, $115 million.
No, they did what they had to do. I love it as well, man. I think it was right. They finally did right by him. They were really going down a slippery slope. I think that just boomerang what Cole said again. It's really the face of it's really their division more so than just even the AFC North conference. Yeah, the AFC North will make you get right, and they on some act right for sure. They've got all the pieces in place. I think they see that Kansas City is hobbled and staggered and about to really take a step back and have a slow decline. Well, not even a slow decline. I mean, I'm not going to put that on, but yeah, fuck it, a slow decline. They've already won enough, and they got a lot to figure out in this offseason, just like everybody else. But I like the parity in the league, and now I think that in the AFC, we all starting from a baseline. I mean, the good rosters are going to separate themselves. The good GMs, the good organizations are going to separate themselves. And the Bengals just really turned the corner in terms of getting really just locking that down and solidifying themselves in that top in the top echelon of the AFC for quite some time now. I think it was essential. And then, like you're saying, don't nobody like to break the bank and make a splash, because you're making you're taking a huge risk when you're bringing on a wide receiver, because in that position is inherently a diva-rific position. Yeah. So it's like you're talking about a free agent, you're talking about money, you're talking about a big acquisition. All that leaves a lot of variables. So even if it does right, it still don't be quite right. Look at the Stephon shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like even when it's right, it still ain't quite right. So not like what they did, and I think the Bengals are back in that regard. They're gonna definitely contend for the division and and return to the playoffs this year.
Well, the media covers that they've gotten behind these two receivers, I think they've done a good job of making it happen. Now, are they making a right turn in the right direction? I think so, because I didn't think they were going to be able to pay both of these guys for whatever reason, and Joe Burrow was really pushing for it in the media. I think they've done a good job. Now, what the Bengals have got to figure out is, number one, They've got the talent. The biggest issue they've had, other than these 2 wide receivers and the anticipation of trying to get them both back, is this: they always start off slow. Somebody in that clubhouse has got to figure it out.
But see, but my thing is, I think that's the answer to the question. There were always rumblings about signing, rumbling about this coming to camp, people sitting out on voluntary minicamp, doing this, that, and the third. So I think with all that behind them,
and hopefully that's what it's doing, because you're right, they have shown different behavior in their handling their contract things in the offseason. Great. But they still, because here's the thing, they always start off 1-5, 0-6, 2-4, and then they make this 7-game run, and Burrow gets the comeback player of the year award. I think this is his second one he just got. They always start off slow, and that can give an organization a black eye, and especially in the division. Y'all both alluded to how competitive that division is, that AFC North. So I think you're right, Ro. I think, like I said, I think they're making a step in the right direction. But they've got to figure out a way. If it's not getting these contracts resolved in the offseason, they've got to figure out a way to get out to a bigger start. So hopefully they do. But shout out to them, because I didn't think they would be able to get both of them back. Credit to their organization on that. All right, let's talk about the hometown team, bro. And we'll start with you first. Texans agreed to terms with cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. on a 3-year, $90 million deal, making him the highest paid defensive back in this current NFL. Your thoughts on that, especially you being a hometown fan?
Man. Hey, look, I'm loving it, man. Like I said, he ain't the only one. They not the only one with sauce out there no more, Jack. Look, ain't no mention no sauce no more. We got Stingley. The whole secondary is just insane right now. We
should have on paper one of the best ones.
Definitely. We got the kid from. We also brought in the kid from the Champs from Philly. We had Kwame Lassiter. We got a couple other through the draft. We didn't got better. The secondary is nasty. All we need to do is get that O-line together, and then, I mean, look, I don't know what we have left to do, but I think that I like the trajectory of our team being it. It's like, yeah, you go ahead and be the benchmark. You got the highest producing corner in the league. They got us out of a lot of jam. You go ahead and lock that down and make that the cornerstone of your defense and everything. So, yeah, it was 100 to me.
Cole, from the outside looking in, from a market bigger than Houston, far away from Houston, what does this move look like to you? Because me and Ro, we're biased. We're here, we're in the training camps, we're on the news watching it during the preseason, Chuck as well. What does this look like to you?
I think it's huge. I think that you need a corner in today's NFL. I think corner is probably the second most important position on any team after the quarterback. I think that you're always on the field, normally about 90% of the time, and you're guarding the other players' best offensive talent. And at the end of the day, you can't really touch them anymore like you used to do back in the day. You could play very physical. So when you have someone at the elite status as Stingley Jr., I think this is a perfect marriage between the two, or between him and the organization, and locking them up. So.
Right. And to echo what y'all both say, y'all both made some excellent points. I think he's earned this deal. I think he's been there. He doesn't get hurt. He is what I would consider. I was asking this question when I was looking at this. It's like, is he a lockdown corner?
Yeah, you could say he's a shutdown corner. However, teams still feel compelled to try this guy. And it's like, y'all continue to try him. He's going to continue to eat.
Right. Well, and at the end of the day, I think he's getting the type of money of a lockdown corner. And, the reason why I said he is, give me 3 that is better than him in the NFL. I couldn't think
you can't. And the thing is, it's like you write it off to our insane pass rush, which is another asset we have. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, these aren't errant throws, though. And I'm telling you, these are breakups. The guy tackles. He's a complete corner, is what the thing is. It's like, look, even if somebody is active over there, they don't get by. And we run some packages where the ball comes off that edge. And look, man.
Well, and here's the thing, too. You're thinking about this, and I'm loving the way I've been a big critic of the Texans organization. I think this is one of the moves that I'm really starting to get behind my home team, because here's the thing: as good as he's playing, if he continues that, which it looks like, I mean, things could happen. He could get injured, something that could happen, but it's like you have to give him this for number one. He earned it. Number two, if he continues to play well, then the price is going to go up for him. So lock him in now for $90 million for 3 years and see what happens. Because if he continues to play well, it's going to be a lot more expensive. Definitely. And then he's going to walk out. Right. He'll walk out to a Buffalo. He'll walk out to a Baltimore, and they'll go to a Super Bowl.
We're going to see that boy get his jacket.
I'm telling you.
Jacoby. We've seen this movie before.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why I say I think the organization is taking a step in the right place with this move, because I've seen them do that. I've seen them let players who deserve to get paid walk out of the door, and they go get on somebody else's team. And they go to the AFC, NFC championship, and sometimes they go to the Super Bowl, and sometimes they win. So I'm seeing this guy, and I'm seeing the trajectory on him. I'm like, lock him up. He was a Pro Bowler. He's a top 3 at his position. Lock him up. Just do the right thing. Do the new Texan right thing, not the old Texan thing where we let guys just walk out. So I'm proud of the Texans for that, and I hope Stingley keeps up the good work. All right. The next signing, which I'm not going to lie, Cole, I'm a little bit surprised knowing the history of the New York Giants and African-American quarterbacks, but they signed Jameis Winston to a 2-year, $8 million deal. Okay. I am surprised about this. Number one, like I said, just because of the organization. I'm not calling them racist, because I do think Tyrod Taylor did start for them as one of the probably their first black quarterback that ever started. But number one, the thing about the Giants is I never thought they would go after Jameis Winston. That's not a knock on him. I just did not see that happening. I thought they were going to go after a Rodgers or somebody of that caliber, but I like the signing. Now, the question I have, and I'm going to let both of y'all comment on this, is like, and I know my answer to this question. Is Jameis a starter in this league? Does he have enough resume in this league? And when I say resume, maybe I should say proven resume to be a starting quarterback. Let's start with you, Ro. How do you feel about this deal? And can it work in New York?
I love the deal. I love Jameis, as a matter of fact. I'm a big Jameis fan and Jameis guy. Much like my brother Cole in New York about Baker, it's like I got a soft spot for Jameis from Florida State on. Is he a starting quarterback in this league? I wouldn't even say arguably. It's like argue with your mammy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The boy gets numbers. I hadn't seen him bring teams back. His skill set is there. He's got all the throws. He's decent in the pocket. He's a better backup. Just in the honest appraisal of him, he's better as a backup if you have the option. However, the Giants don't have that option. So I think he's definitely a better look than Danny Dimes, DeVito, or anybody they had in the camp before. I don't know. They're really trading places with the Jets. Really, like I said, we make fun of you all the time for having more than one team. But that's some beneficial stuff if you really think about it. Because that's like, everybody, pivoted on away from them Giants. That's a dumpster fire right now. And he's got neighbors to hook up with, so he and neighbors will develop instant chemistry.
He's got a star receiver.
He's gonna put up numbers.
He's got a
but is it gonna be enough to keep up with the Joneses in that division? We're talking about Philly, Washington. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna be an uphill climb for the Giants, but I like that they did that. I'm a Jameis Winston fan, and they could have done worse. I'll leave it at that. They could have. They could have certainly signed somebody worse.
And in our fairness too, Colin, and we'll get to you. Like it's like this. Who else were they going to get? And here's the thing. Here's a question I want to pose to both of y'all before I go to Cole. It's like this. I was thinking about him and Geno Smith. And I was saying to myself, maybe the best version of Jameis looks something like Geno Smith. He may be a little bit more skilled. Of course, he was a higher grade coming out of college. So the talent is there. I think was it in New Orleans where he was at, or was it Tampa?
He looked
Bay?
nice. He looked nice in Tampa.
He actually played for both.
He played for both. Well, one of those seasons, I want to say it was Tampa, where, and it to me, it was kind of like it shows that he has the tools, but there was something else missing. I think he led the league in touchdowns and interceptions the same year, something along those lines. Where,
but it's like he made the Cleveland job, which is not a great job, but he made it look. Well, I retract my statement. I was gonna say he made it look desirable, or it made it look optimal, but it worked better with him in the system while I was still pulling for the shot.
Well, and that's what I'm gonna say. I think if the Giants, and y'all know I always say this about these teams, I think it could work if they surround him with the best possible talent. Again, we're not looking for Jameis Winston to go there and carry a team on his shoulders. And again, I go back to that point. There's only maybe a handful of quarterbacks that could do that. If they load up the way they're supposed to load up.
Because they were in games. They were a lot like the Raiders.
Exactly.
They beat themselves a lot.
Exactly. Jones turned the ball over a lot. I mean, in all fairness to him, he had a lot of offensive coordinators, coaching changes. But if they load that team up, we talked about it. It's not the same quarterback, but it's the same almost skill set. We talked about that. Me and you agreed on that with Shedeur. If you get him on the team where you can load up, I think Jameis can make a difference.
Yeah, he won't blow it.
Right. And that may be the best way to. He's not going to win you a game, but he's not going to lose you a game. New York has to do a good job of putting a supporting cast behind it. And for me, I'm saying to myself, if Geno Smith, and this is not a knock on Geno, if he can win comeback player of the year in Seattle, I think Jameis can do that in New York if New York does it right. You know,
so. Another good spot for him would have been maybe like an Indianapolis or something like that.
Right.
They could have used it.
Right. And even Indianapolis, I think they have more of an established supporting cast than the Giants do.
True.
So that might have been good. Cole, what do you think about this? What is the overall feel from you and the Big Apple about this move?
So I love it. And first, he's the third black quarterback to play, because Geno was actually the first one after Eli.
Okay.
And you had Tyrod, and then you had
Tyrod. Right.
Yeah. But I say that I love it because it gives them options. If let's just say the Browns take Shedeur and Tennessee goes with Ward, you draft Hunter with the next pick, and you have Neighbors and Hunter, grow together. You have a little opportunity for Hunter to play both sides of the ball and be very versatile.
I was just going to say, do you think it's going to carry over to the league, Cole?
Yeah, I think it will carry over to the league, because I think Winston, he's a proven quarterback. The only knock that anyone could ever say on Winston is that he just doesn't take care of the ball. Outside of that, he makes every single throw. Outside of that, everyone loves playing with him.
You're right. And the one caveat is people say the knock on him is not taking care of the ball, but he was on teams where he was trying to do way too much.
That's what I'm saying. They have to. Exactly. You cannot put him out there and say, hey, try to go win it on your own. You got to surround him. And it's not a knock on him because he's going to try to win. He forces a lot because he's trying to win. But you have to put a strong supporting cast around him. And again, that's what most quarterbacks. You can't just throw them out there and give them minimum and think they're going to win. So I think if New York does right, and it's actually funny you say the Colts, because that would be perfect, because the Colts have done everything right but the quarterback position. So I think if New York does that, I think it definitely could work, because he ain't gonna lose you a game. You got Neighbors out there, which I think can be a number one receiver in this league. You put a couple of good stout offensive line around him, and you let him game manage. And if you let him game manage and you give it to him, and you let him operate to where he can get his confidence up to where he won't throw the ball away, but make a great play. And sometimes a great play is throwing the ball away. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So I think if you give him that confidence and you give him that back, and of course, and I could see him again, if Geno Smith can be the comeback player of the year in the NFL, I think Jameis Winston definitely can be that. So I'm excited about it if the Giants do what they're supposed to do, and we'll see. All right, let's talk about this next signing, because I feel like it's unfair, and I think the rich are getting richer. The Bills signed Joey Bosa to a 1-year, $12.6 million deal. Now, it's only a 1-year deal, which means they're trying to see if he has anything, in my opinion, if Joey still has anything left in the tank. Now, there's been some decline in his performance. Now, he's in San Francisco, right? I'm not thinking about the brother in San Diego. Am I thinking about that right, Cole? Is this the kid from San Francisco, Joey Bosa?
No, this the one from San
Chargers.
Diego Chargers.
Okay. So that makes sense to me because you know what happened to him and Khalil Mack over there. They were supposed to tear everything up in Los Angeles, but he's still a Bosa. I think the Bills are smart by signing him to a 1-year deal to see if he has anything left. They didn't get locked in on a long-term deal. But however, as stout as that defense is, man, oh man, if he could give them a fraction of what he used to be, you're talking about the rich getting richer than me. If he's a fraction of what he is, I think it's an excellent signing. Now, that's just the way I feel about it. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but let's start with you, Cole, since we started with Roll with the Stingley deal. Let's start with you first, Cole.
I think it's a win-win because Von Miller is gone, and I think that he just takes his place on passing downs. I also think he's good for a team like Buffalo who scores a lot of points, meaning that a lot of teams are going to have to pass, and that means that he's going to benefit from being in on passing downs when you know it's a pass, so he gets the rush with not being impeded. So I think him playing for Buffalo is an excellent move because Buffalo on averages close to 30 points a game, you know, and so that means the other team is always passing to keep up with points. So I see him getting double-digit sacks this year. I think it's an excellent pickup. They already have a nice young defensive line. I just think it just gets a little bit better. He'll get some one-on-one coverage because they add Oliver and a couple other people in the middle. So right. I think they'll be all right.
Now, let me put you on the spot as a GM. What numbers does he have to get sack-wise to give him another contract? What's the cutoff point?
I think at that age and someone who's, you know, injured off and on every now and then, I think I'll keep him on a year to year, you know, and I'll just incentivize different things. But I'll keep him on a year to year.
But is there anything that he would do that would cause you to give him something bigger than
if he had 15 sacks and he dominated, I'll give him a contract for a 2-year contract.
Okay. All right. Ro, what you think?
Well, I don't like it. I don't like Joey Bosa. I think the rich getting richer, but didn't they just waive Von Miller, huh? Didn't they cut Von Miller?
Yeah.
They trying to replace Von Miller. They going about it, I think, in an asinine way. They went and got MAGA Joey to, you know, come on.
Now, is he the one or is it the one in San Francisco?
Hell, they brothers. They both on that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no way they the Bozo brothers. I ain't fucking
right.
with them. But in either way, like, yeah, I mean, why would I sign him to more than I don't think he's worth more than that either. And I think that LA's eagerness or acceptance of cutting ties with him, you know what I'm saying, are just the icing on the cake. That boy ain't worth it. So it's like, yeah, you can give another run. You know what I'm saying? He'll fall on his face somewhere. Like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not in love with it. I don't think that makes that defense better because somehow they had a good pass rush before all of that, even minus Von Miller for most of the year. So see it as unnecessary, but I mean, we'll see how it works out. And
that's why I was happy for it because they already stout.
Yeah, they already stout. It's not going to hurt them, but
right.
I don't think it's going to help. I don't think it's what they need to go over the top anymore. I don't think it's going to put them any higher over the top.
I got you. That makes sense. I'm thinking about the best version of what I can see him being.
Yeah, I mean, but
we don't know if that
that's
can
what I'm
happen.
saying. That's turning back the clock. That's like saying
we don't
Arizona,
know if that's gonna happen. Right.
Arizona wanted out of JJ, and it's like, nah.
Right.
I just don't see it.
Right. All right, let's talk about this. Let's get into one NFL topic, and then one NFL throwback topic, and then we'll get into a break, and then we'll go into the NBA. All right, I gotta ask this question because I still struggle with this. And it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but I love debating this topic. All right, you're an NFL general manager, and you have a number 1 pick in the draft. Out of all the defensive players in the history of NFL, who would you pick first out of this next group? And think about it like this. Take the best years that you know from these 6 gentlemen. Let's just say we're going back into time. You know what all of them can do. You know what their records are. You know what their career stats are, and you know their career highlights. Who would you take as number 1? Aaron Donald, Deion Sanders, Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Ray Lewis, Deacon Jones. Let's start with you, Ro. Knowing what you know about all of them, all their accomplishments, you looking back, you got a crystal ball, you say, man, I know what Aaron Donald did. I know what Deion did. I know what Lawrence Taylor did. Who would you take first in the draft?
Do I take the good with the bad? I take the good with the bad.
Okay, so who you got?
You know what I'm saying? Do I take the good with the bad? Minus all the bad?
Yeah, you the general manager. You
So
can pick. Just tell us why whoever you pick, why you would pick them.
See, I love to take like LT, but without the booger sugar, baby. I don't know whether that made him better or worse. You know what I'm saying?
But that's not. But the point is, he took it and he was great.
And as a GM, like I said, that would raise red flags. I'd be inclined not to draft this man. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the outcome, it got you a bowl, but there's other avenues of getting that. You know what I'm saying? So then I'd pick somebody like. See, I'd like to pick Aaron Donald, but see, that didn't reap the kind of benefit. He had a fabulous, stellar career, but that did not reap the kind of benefit I needed to. I'd say I'd have to go ahead and draft Prime, to be honest. Because if I don't draft Prime was a difference maker wherever he went, except for when he cut his bones in Atlanta. And he got on there and was a difference maker there. So I think that with him changing the position the way that he did and evolving, taking football to the level and the position to the level that he did, I would draft Prime, man. There's too much versatility. Like I said, we might not have ever heard of Devin Hester or Dante Hall, any of them boys.
Right.
If people had completely harnessed Deion, you know what I'm saying, the way that he could have been. So
you're looking at Deion in terms of the multi-purpose. I mean, he was definitely
the multi-purpose, the defensive side of it. It's like he would have played. He would have been. Right. Look, it's crazy that he's groomed Travis Hunter the way that he has. Right. I'd had him playing two sides of the ball.
Right. You know right. Cole, who would you take on this list and why?
I'm gonna agree with Larry because I was just about to say the same thing. I think the fact that he could shut down the whole field, half a field, and be by himself, no under coverage, no over coverage over the top, nothing. But I also think it was just the versatility, being able to play receiver, be able to do kickoff returns, punt returns. And I think just the aura and the charisma and the confidence he brought all his teams. That's probably the main reason why I'll pick him. After that, it would have been LT. It would still be hard not to take LT. It would still be hard not to take Ray Lewis. I think those two, to me, were the best two players I've seen outside of Deion on defense.
All right. I mean, those are two great points. Both of y'all got two great points, but I'm going to respectively disagree.
We go to the Reverend.
Well, and here's the thing. Like Deion, no doubt, I can't argue in terms of I understand why, because he's an icon. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that from that position. I definitely get the justification for taking Prime. However, as much as I love Ray Lewis, I still believe this about Ray Lewis. If there's no goose, I'm not sure if Ray Lewis is who he is. And that's no disrespect to him. That's just how the positions work. I got to start at the line because, number one, the line players don't get enough credit. Lawrence Taylor, man, I think we forget, and I know the drugs played a part in it. Well, we can't tell whether or not the drugs was the major part in it, but we're going to assume that. But at the end of the day, Lawrence Taylor, man, it was just – I think Lawrence Taylor is one of those transcendent players that if I put him in today's game, he would do the same thing.
Yeah. He and who's the other kid from Kansas City that died? Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody fast off the edge.
Right. I just think that, and then even though I take Lawrence, the Minister of Defense, man, the interior defensive lineman, and no disrespect to Aaron Donald because I think he's right there too. But man, Reggie White, man, I mean, put it like this: if you got a great defensive line. And this will back up my point. Look at the Giants with Strahan and them. You could have a mediocre linebacker core. You could have a subpar secondary. To me, it's out of Reggie White or Lawrence Taylor. I'm probably leaning more Reggie White just because Lawrence, to me, was just an expert on the outside. Being, you have to. But for Reggie White to have the impact, that's why I tell people all the time about J.J. Watt. He's got to be mentioned amongst the greats because it's so hard to dominate the defensive line from the interior. Yeah. It's so hard. Exactly.
You can sack the quarterback.
Exactly.
Or you can tackle the running back.
And most of the time, they're going to give you credit because you took on 2 blocks and you free somebody else up.
But they take that for granted.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying,
and that's
man.
every play. Every day. Anytime you see that boy do something, he didn't fall through.
Right. Now, here's the thing. Not taking anything away from Prime because at the end of the day, if you can't throw the ball to one side of the field, that's difficult.
That's tremendous over.
But the thing about it,
you couldn't throw it or kick it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't throw it to me or kick it to me. It's a problem if you do that.
But, and I'm gonna say this, and it's not the popular opinion. All right, we've seen Deion on a team where they didn't have a defensive line, and as great as he was, that was the Atlanta Falcons. No disrespect, his campaign in San Francisco was legendary. His campaign was even more legendary in Dallas. But on both of them teams, them defensive linemen was a problem.
Yeah, big facts.
So you can always pick Deion to me. You know what I'm saying? I just think Reggie White, man.
You can get Deion free agency.
Exactly.
Free agency.
I just think Reggie White, man, to make an impact on the defense from the interior line. And Reggie White, whether it was a run or whether it was a pass. And here's the thing. He won a ring at Green Bay, but remember how good those lines were in Philadelphia with him and Jerome Brown? I think he's rest in peace now. I got to go with Reggie White, man, because guess what? I don't have to draft a Ray Lewis if I got a Reggie White. Yeah. Probably don't have to draft Lawrence Taylor.
Or Deion.
You know what I'm saying? But if I draft for Deion, yeah, I'm going to get kick return, punt return. I'm going to get that field shut down. That's why I say I definitely understand why y'all would pick Deion. But for my defense, if I got to go, hey, man, I got to load up and I might not be able to pay for it, it's the Minister of Defense, man.
That body of work on Aaron Donald ain't bad.
No, it ain't. It's just the thing about Aaron Donald is he's going against Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White. You know what I'm saying?
I like it from that. For that,
but he's got an argument.
Think about his sustained run, like his sustained greatness up to winning that bowl. Yes. That boy had like 7-8 years.
Well, and even with Aaron Donald, it's the same thing about everybody talking about LeBron and the 50K versus Jordan. Aaron Donald, much like LeBron, has a case. He has a case, just like you said, the way he's been able to sustain that dominant performance over the years, and he was an interior lineman as well.
And was a problem.
Exactly. I don't have any knocks against Aaron Donald. I just think that Reggie just was better. But if somebody was to say, hey, I think Aaron Donald is better or just as good, it's a debate.
And I think if you're talking about the draft, bump it down to the draft. I don't know what Aaron Donald looked like at the combine. I know Reggie White came ready to order. He came in the league. He came in the league a man. He left a man. Real talk.
Exactly.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah. All right, Chuck, you want to get to a break, man, or you want us to go straight into the association? It's up to you, man.
Yo, rep the movement with Mo Serious Fashions. Copy your fresh snapback or hoodie or a tee. All representing the Mo City Podcast, Debate with Bake, or Gloves Up, Guns Down. Everything is custom made with love from our top-notch manufacturers. We got a dope range of colors and sizes to fit your vibe. Everything from blue, red, green, black, white, and more. Rep the Mo and keep it fresh, fam. Hit up moseries.com/merchandise and order today. Let's go. Men's Fragrance, your home for 100% authentic men's cologne. We carry high-end fragrances like Creed, YSL, Gucci, Polo, and more with below retail prices. All orders come with free shipping. Order online at mens-fragrance.net. Men's Fragrance. Smell good for less.
Stop. It's COVID, flu, and RSV season. Boost your immune system now.
Fortress was developed to provide key ingredients that provide such aid to the body's immune mechanisms.
So how do I fight COVID, the flu, and RSV?
So our job isn't to defend ourselves from things, it's to help support our body's natural immune system to begin with. And when you look at Fortress, that's exactly what we're after. Individually sourced ingredients that have been demonstrated to support our natural immune system and help our bodies just do a good job at what they're naturally meant to do. And that's why Fortress is a very nice combination of these independently sourced ingredients that can help support a healthy immune system.
Learn more about Fortress and natural ways to boost your immune system by clicking the link.
All right, shout out to our sponsors, man, and to Mo Serious. You can go check this information out that you just saw on moserious.com and go check out some products, get you a snapback, get you some clothing. And also, you have those vitamins. I know for those of us who are 40 plus, probably should be thinking about taking some vitamins because of our immune system. But shout out to our sponsors for supporting not only DWB, but the rest of the Most Serious family. All right, let's get into it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on Debate with Bake podcast, episode 7, season 4. All right, let's get into the association. Not much going on in terms of the current NBA. Everybody's gearing up for the playoffs. Everybody's making their last playoff run. And so we'll have more news about the playoffs as we get closer to it, as these positions start to get solidified and as players start to get healthy. But let's talk about a little bit of trivia. I wanted to have a little bit of fun with this because this is what I call a lunchtime topic at the job. But it says, who is the greatest NBA enforcer? Who is the greatest NBA enforcer out of the following topics? Following candidates, rather. Charles Oakley, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, Kevin Garnett, Ben Wallace, Meta World Peace, I call it Sanford Artest, Maurice Lucas, Udonis Haslem, Kendrick Perkins, Anthony Mason, rest in peace, Draymond Green, Charles Barkley. Again, who is the greatest enforcer in NBA history? Charles Oakley, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, Kevin Garnett, Ben Wallace, Meta World Peace, a.k.a. Ron Artest, Maurice Lucas, Udonis Haslem, Kendrick Perkins, Anthony Mason, Draymond Green, Charles Barkley.
You left me off, man.
Who's that?
Xavier McDaniel.
Okay, we could throw X-Man in there, but nobody really expected X-Man because he wasn't a good player. But we could throw X-Man on there. No disrespect to my man X-Man, but I mean, at the end of the day. And we're going to throw X-Man in there. Let's throw my man in there that rearranged Rudy T's face.
I was just about to say Kermit Washington.
So we're going to throw X-Man in there, and we could do that, Cole. How about that? All right, let's add those two. All right, Cole, since you want to be the comment man and you want to throw X-Man in there because you're trying to be biased, when he was in New York, he used to get chumped in New York anyway. Who do you think is the greatest NBA enforcer in the history of the association?
I got to go with Oakley. Oakley will slap you off the court too. People are scared of him, not only on the court, but off the court. People don't even make comments about Oakley. So I'm definitely going with Oakley. I watched him do it all of my whole Knick life from in the early 80s to.
So are you biased because he was a Knick?
No. I just watched him do it. I watched him do it to everybody. He ain't back down for nobody.
People in Chicago.
People are literally scared to say anything about him. And when you hear stories about, let's say, some of these new age players, they're like, I saw Oakley and Oakley slapped the hell out of somebody and no one did anything back. Like, that's Oakley, so.
All right, Ro, what you think? I think that's a weak excuse, but we know he biased to the Knicks, but
I'm gonna have to go ahead and go with my man Ron Artest, man. I mean, look, the malice.
But see, we can say you biased because he was down here.
The way the boy got ties, man. My boy Dunn, man. Shout out to my boy Dunn, St. John's, man. She wasn't no joke. And she wasn't no joke.
Before I went with Artest, though. Artest like that one moment.
Yeah, but see, the thing about Max is, man, I love Max, but Max just admitted, shout out to Stack and Matt Barnes.
He ain't had a size.
And then Max just admitted that he got slapped by the Dream. You can't be enforced and get slapped by the Dream.
I was going to say Dream.
Dream could be on that list too. Right, right.
I don't know, man. Like I said, Ron Artest, the malice at the palace. I'm telling you, in a Rocket jersey. I saw, no. In an LA jersey. He was playing for the Lakers after he jumped ship and left from here. I saw it. No, it wasn't. I think it was Harden OKC. I saw my man Bo Harden in the side of the head so hard in the celebration, like for nothing. He said it was for a celebration. He was just getting turned up, but it looked like the most flagrant elbow I have ever witnessed in my life. He tried to kill James. He tried to kill James.
I
ain't seen nobody that big.
Had a running start.
Yes, and caught him with all of it. All of it was worse than the young lady who hit the girl with the baton and track. I'm talking about Harden might have been concussed for years. He probably contemplated quitting. Harden probably contemplated leaving all the money alone and going on his way after that particular bowl because that was brain damage, my guy. That was brain damage.
I forgot about that.
I'm telling you, fans, anybody can get it. Like I said, that dude at Queens, they could get it. Like I said, in the streets, like I said, anywhere, the definition of on site, and nigga unreadable. He had to change his name to World Peace. Y'all got to feel me. This is Ron Artest. I don't even bother with all them names. He called him. He earned the right to call him whatever you want to call him. You know, for you to call him whatever he's safe for you to call him. Excuse me, but look, man, just what I witnessed out our peer group, and that's 9-8. You know, it was some real knuckleheads Ryan back then. You got to understand the landscape of how things were. You know what I'm saying? Boy, don't get suspended for a season no more. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't just happen everywhere. And there were certain perpetrators who remain nameless. But like I said, the ringleader was my man, Ron Artest. You know what I'm saying? My man at the Queensbridge. Don't fuck around. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you know, some boys is unreasonable.
Oh, man. Cole, man, is convincing, man. I know. Hey, Cole, listen. Oak got to be up there. Oak got to be top 3. He got to be top 3. Damn, I forgot about that unreal elbow from Ron Artest, man. I ain't never seen nothing. Yeah.
Westbrook on the drive, blocked by Bynum. Bynum's third in the NBA in shot blocking. Artest drives and finishes.
Wow! Whoa!
Harden goes down.
Whoa!
He's elbowed him. Oh no!
Get this fuck nigga away from me! Oh my god! A celebratory elbow. A celebratory. Look at the wind up.
That's not only ejection. That's going to be a suspension. It should be.
Oh, like a gunshot. Look at that boy hold his whole dome. He held his head on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is also the soft generation because they would have been fighting if this was the Pacers, the Knicks, the Detroit Pistons.
Look, once he woke up, like Harden was pretty much out cold. I mean,
look, let me say this to Cole's point, because it all depends on it, and that's the reason why I posed this question, because I had forgot about that. If you look at that, but that's one act. Some people say, like to Cole's point, some people say, like Cole said, it was off the court and Oak impacted the game. Like some guys would even drive to the paint. Artest just had the antics with it. Like
basically,
did he enforce the paint? You know what I'm saying?
In a way,
like you made a case for Dream. There were times when people didn't come down to paint. You could throw Shaq in there too.
And you know what? I reject my answer in light of that, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with that Worm, man.
It could be Worm,
a young Worm, because the thing is, Worm agitates and neutralizes a whole bunch of different ways. Like I said, he was a different type of enforcer. For one, they were gonna glue him to your.
But enforcer.
Bill Laimbeer was also another
exactly.
one.
That's what I'm saying. To Cole's point,
that's Cole's Worm.
So when we think about that, when we think about the enforcer, it's like you're gonna think about going down that paint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's been, and I'm an old head. I show my age all the time because I could throw like a Rick Mahorn and
see, and that's what I'm saying. That's the case for Laimbeer, because there was a lot of
Darryl
times.
Dawkins.
Right. That was time.
Characters are men like forward Charles Oakley, ever present jovial enforcer.
Yeah. On the play. That's how play
next to this time. Right?
Play too.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, rookies.
And to your point, we don't give a lot of credit to the Chicago career. It actually started with Oak in Chicago.
Definitely.
With the enforcers.
They were best friend with
so
Mike.
I mess with Cole, but I can understand why Cole would have him top at the list, because
they said, Mike, look, you gonna have me boxing every night.
Exactly.
I got to go. They're gonna kill you, Mike.
Look, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna throw Oak. I think Laimbeer got to be in that conversation. I'm gonna throw Ben Wallace in there. I think Ben Wallace was a big time enforcer.
Now, if you want to talk about dirty players, you say Draymond.
Yeah, but I don't even. I don't even know why I put him on the list. I should have put Dream in there, Shaq in that court instead of him. But I also think Barkley held that title for a while.
And Mutombo wasn't a bad goon either.
Right. So it's different, man.
On the way Chris Childs two-piece Kobe, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just fighting, though.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just right. We talk
he
about
wasn't a tough guy. He had
right,
enough.
He couldn't about horse. Right. For me, it's out of Oak, Ben Wallace, Laimbeer, and I'll throw Barkley in there. It's out of Oak. I mean, Cole might be right, man. Oak embodies.
Yeah, Oak,
you know what I'm saying?
Wood till you drive. Oak gonna
like Cole say, like
Oak will put you on your head.
Oak didn't punk Rodman. Oak didn't punk Barkley. Have we ever seen anybody stand up to Oak?
Maybe like LJ.
And Oak will still be quick to slam you or grab you by the neck or mush you. Or
that's true. Because I heard a story about Oak slapping. He was in Toronto at the end of the career as a vet, and they said, for the Bobcats, somebody, and he said, Gerald Wallace was sitting there with a towel on his head. He said, "Look, we ain't gonna do nothing to towel on the head bullshit. We professionals. We gonna carry us at a professional manner."
Right.
He said somebody had to run up on him and say, "Oh, school, come on, man, come on, Unc. He don't know no better, Unc." And he was like, "Son, he was the highest player on the roster at the time.
Right,
he was getting mopped." Man, that's a good whatever.
It might be Oak, man.
It might be Oak.
It might be Oak or Laimbeer. Man, that's a tough one. Who you think, Chuck?
I'm torn, right? Because I grew up in the era of like watching Anthony Mason.
Yeah.
I watched Anthony Mason slide a bunch of people, hit a bunch
of
people with elbows.
Pushing the rock,
like the power forward come through, charge and throw the ball at you.
Right.
After he ran you over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I watched that, but I also caught the tail end of the Detroit Pistons, bro.
Yeah.
And that Laimbeer, fam.
But you know what, though? I don't even mean to cut you off. You know who I just thought about? Karl Malone was a good enforcer too, man. Karl Malone would lay a lick on you right quick. Karl Malone.
I'm gonna tell you why I didn't like Karl Malone. Because he'd turn around and flop.
Yeah. Oh well, that's true.
He was an enforcer, but then he turned around and flopped. It was like, bro,
that boy swipe was supposed to be the thing of legend. That boy was supposed to swipe the ball, trying to steal the ball and break your fingers. Just that quick, just swipe down because that boy stopped jumping.
Yeah.
Once he was like 270, 275, he stopped jumping. So it's like,
I like that Laimbeer probably because when you talk about just hard as white boy, like we gonna fight. And I don't even care if I lose.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't mind
him and Larry Legend. Them only two white buttons saying get down. You know,
right. I'm leaning towards Oak and Bill Laimbeer. I'll throw Barkley in there too, because I think for a while Barkley, for as small as he was,
had a reputation on and off the court.
Uh-huh.
On and off the court.
Right.
He had a Vernon Maxwell height,
right?
Stature, and everything was different.
Right. That's a good debate, man. It all depends on who you think did what. All right, let's do a classic matchup. Who wins this matchup? All-time Duke versus all-time UNC. Now, I picked these. Kyrie for Duke, J.J. Redick, G. Hill, Leitner, Zion versus all-time UNC, Jordan, Vince Carter, James Worthy, Antoine Jameson, Rasheed Wallace.
Don't start here. You already know. You ain't about to ask me.
Who you got, Cole?
UNC, you got James Worthy, Wallace, and Jordan. Just
anybody ain't on the Hall of Fame on the.
And you could have we could have thrown in some Ty Lawson, Kenny Smith, any one of them to run point.
Perkins, man, we loaded.
Stackhouse,
we loaded. Yeah, Jerry Stackhouse was there.
Yeah.
Mom Williams was on there, man.
Carter.
So y'all think that's easy?
Even with Cooper Flag on the bench. You know, coming off the bench, them boys still need help. Some kind of way ball don't translate to good pro ball for some reason.
All right, let's do Duke versus Kentucky.
Put Tatum in there.
I don't think this does it better, but Duke versus Kentucky. Kyrie, Duke squad. Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, Pablo, Brandon Ingram versus De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis for Kentucky.
You forgot Mashburn. You forgot a couple other people.
Yeah, like I said, Kentucky continue going. Like I said, I throw in Antoine Walker for shits and giggles, just cause. But it's like, pick your poison. Duke, it don't produce good pros for some reason.
So Duke is out on both of them.
Duke is out on both of them.
Yeah.
You got John Wall. You got freaking. Was Ray Mercer on that team too?
Ron Mercer came off the bench. Yes, sir. Walter McCarty. You got the other guys who Tony Dell. You got guys whose career didn't even pan out but go to town.
All right,
you boy.
All right, UNC versus Kentucky. Jordan, Vince Carter Worthy, Jamison Wallace versus De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker, Shea Gilders Alexander, Carl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, or anybody from Kentucky. UNC versus Kentucky.
I love both of those programs.
I got to lean on Jordan at that point. At the end of the day, they got Jordan, and so that's.
But is it Jordan? Not what Jordan became, but Jordan and UNC. But you still
Jordan and UNC won natties. Game winners.
You know who would give Jordan them some competition?
Calhoun and them.
Who you got?
Syracuse. Derek Coleman, Sherman Douglas, Carmelo Anthony, John Wallace, Billy Owens, and freaking
Lazarus Sims. I remember them teams, but them was nice.
What's your boy that Cream Cup that got us the first year I was there? Lawrence Moulton, not Lawrence Moulton. Preston Shumpert.
Oh, Preston. Yeah, he was nice. He was nice. I still like Carolina.
Just Carmelo, Derek Coleman, and Sherman Douglas right there.
You got your hands full. You got your hands full. Real talk. I still don't think it's a dream matchup. Yeah, and then like I said, because for one, Melo was the most NBA ready freshman I've ever seen in my life. Like just him and Hakeem Warwick were hell. They were absolutely hell.
First round.
So y'all putting Cooper there, like what we see Melo? Because I agree, Melo at Syracuse was unbelievable.
I think he's different just because Cooper's got more.
That's a good match.
Finesse. I think he's got more finesse. That's a good match. And he doesn't have a bully ball Melo's got. Melo was stronger. I think Melo was stronger and played with a little more attitude.
Yeah.
I will say
that's a good matchup, though.
Cooper might have been better than Melo.
Let's go with this one. Best conference ever. I got the Big East.
That's nasty.
That's kind of easy, though. The Big East has produced.
You had Ray Allen, Allen Iverson,
Stephon Marbury. No, it was Marbury was ACC.
SEC. Georgia Tech. Oh, ACC.
Yeah, that's easy, Cole.
Yeah. I don't know. I would argue the Pac-12.
Yeah, but it
might not be successful. I'd argue the Big Ten.
They just had Edney and Jason Kidd.
That's more of a matchup.
Big Ten versus Big Ten and had a lot of had a lot of washies, but at the same time, they got some studs too. Came out that Big Ten.
Yeah.
Who was that? That was it Pac-10 or Big Ten for Jason Kidd?
That was Pac-10.
Cal, it was Pac-10.
Pacific 10, yeah. All right.
Pac-12 too. They had the Pac-12 conference too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, I told y'all about that, man. The West Coast ain't produced nothing lately, though.
That's true. But then they had that lineage of that because UCLA had to run. I saw an all-time team from USC that was crazy with DeRozan on it with somebody else.
What,
it's like, man,
right? USC,
OJ Mayo,
Arizona had the last big run. Wow.
Yeah, that pack was kind of nasty.
Yeah. Arenas, Woods, Miles Simon, Bibby, all them guys.
Yeah.
Jason Gardner, all those guys.
Michael Dickerson.
You know what they were saying? I was listening was that they were saying that these mid-major teams are going to be null and void soon, because every single time you build up a mid-major team, now with nil, all these players end up going to the big schools.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Who's got the bigger bag? You know what I'm saying? Who's got the bigger bag? That's what's going to work. All right.
Like with teams like Binghamton, what are they going to do? Like.
And they're gonna have to find a way to survive.
Yeah, they're gonna have to call up them alumni.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's like James Harden when he told AD at Arizona State, he was like, "Look, how much y'all need?"
Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be like, bro. Because you're gonna ask the players where you want to go. Who got the biggest bag?
I don't want to get political, but we ain't gonna have to worry about college pretty soon no more.
Yeah,
about them niggas ain't gonna be in college. Ain't nobody gonna be in college.
Right. All right, let's do one more, then we'll get to some shout outs. We may touch a little bit on some boxing, but let's get on to all right. Let's get, since we talking about, it's been a lot of coverage with the WNBA. And Fox came up with a list of the best female basketball players ever. I don't like this list, but I'm gonna put it up there. They got Breonna Stewart from 2013 to 2016, Caitlin Clark, 2021 to 2024, Diana Taurasi, 2001 to 2004, Cheryl Miller, 83 to 86, Shamika Holscar, 96 to 99, Maya Moore, 08 to 11, Brittany Griner, 2010 to 2013, Candace Parker, 2006, 2008. I think this is college. And then Aja Wilson, 15 through 18, and then Lynette Woodard, 78 through 81. Okay, this is college. How do we feel about this list?
It needs a shuffling and a lot of addition as well.
Okay, let's talk about additions. Who needs to be on this list?
Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie.
See, I'm not a fan of Lisa Leslie. Swoops, yes.
Cheryl Swoops goes.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, Cheryl Swoops goes. Tina Thompson goes.
Okay.
Tina Thompson goes.
But I said a little H-Town love from you.
No, that's true. But that's easy. That's there because I went on roped it in with
okay, I give you those. Oh, girl, since we're gonna stay with the with the comments, Cynthia Cooper should probably be on this list too, as far as college players. Who do you take off, bro? And we'll get to
who
you.
do I take off the list? I would say Lynette Woodard just because I didn't witness that at all. I'm not quite sure who that is, and I know a lot of female basketball players. I just have a problem with Breonna being all the way at the top. I love Stewie, but Stewie is by no means the greatest college basketball player ever. It's like the easy money is like Caitlin Clark.
Oh
no, the easiest money is Caitlin Clark just because of the scoring record, but then that's arguable with Cheryl Miller, who was the greatest ever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Bree more chippy than all of them.
Who?
Breonna Stewart.
Oh, really? How many she got? How many she got?
4.
All 4? She got it all 4?
Yeah, Bree did that.
That's why she had
Did she really?
Yeah, 3 Naismith college players.
This list is trash without Cynthia Cooper.
That's why I say you could throw Cooper in there some kind of way. It's just that USC had such a rich tradition back then too. But yeah, man, you killing me with this. I'm not going to even.
Well, she set the record. I mean, listen, if we're talking about
man,
and I guess she didn't win a natty. No, and I guess and she didn't win a natty either. So
exactly,
she might have played on a bad team and done all of this.
I guess she'll end up on there, and I think Juju will end up on there too.
Yeah, I mean Juju.
No, certainly.
Juju, in terms of individual accolades, it just remains that she wins that championship. But we said Cooper should be on this list. You could argue Tina Thompson, Lisa.
Yeah,
Leslie.
I think Candace. I have more of a problem with the order. I think. If that order is to speak for itself, I just think that Maya Moore holds a little more card. Candace Parker holds a little bit more card than being 7th, 8th. This is almost honorable mention when you get to top 10. Like,
so see, that's what I say. Not enough people talk about this chick because she left early. I think Maya Moore has got to be top 5.
Yeah, definitely within.
She just left the game early.
Who was the ugly one that just retired? Oh, she's on there. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Which one?
Don't worry about it. My bad.
I mean, just finna get us,
Miss Tarasi. I apologize. You know what I'm saying?
Get us all kind of thumbs down and everything.
I am an ally.
They just gonna do us bad on DWB because he just flat out said it clear. He didn't even stutter. It wasn't no.
He apologized though.
It wasn't even. He was just like straight to the ugly.
Diana Deere.
Oh my God! Then he called it out. He could have left it.
I apologize.
Unanimous, but then he come out and say a name when we
because I couldn't let the rest of the list go tarnished in that fashion. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. I understand that. And I was out of line. I was out of pocket. Look at Charlie Murphy. I was having too much fun. All right, but. Man, no. And it's like I like the contribution, you know what I'm saying? I like the longevity. She had that LeBron longevity. I just doubt the validation on the list. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, forget how she looked. She could have played with a bag on her head. At the same time, I don't know if she was just one of the nicest ones to do it. You got to talk about some Sue Birds and it's some other ones you could dig up and throw on out there.
Do you think they go ahead of Taurasi? She gotta be on this list.
In a way, but maybe 10th, maybe 10th behind Asia, easily behind Asia. I don't care how many years she played.
You don't think she's better than whole squad?
No, not at all. Shamiko, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, that was 99. Yeah. No.
Cole, who number one on this list?
Kalen Cart. I was joking with you.
I know.
but eventually maybe. But I would have to go for me. The one I could say I watched the most would probably have to be Tarasi, Candace Parker.
Yeah.
For what I've seen the most, besides Cynthia Cooper, because I would have put her on here. When she was out there, she was looking like Jordan when she was out there. She was winning everything.
Right.
But I would probably go with Tarasi. I would probably go with Tarasi.
Credit to what Chuck said. Stewie got the championships.
And Maya Moore retired early, right?
Yeah, Maya Moore retired early.
She got married to the dude that was in jail. That she's
right. Stewie got chippies. She got gold medals. She got player awards. She got.
I might have to throw my girl Ben Simmons in there though. I mean, Brittany Griner.
He said Ben Simmons.
My bad. My bad.
He said Ben Simmons.
My bad.
Shout out to my man Ben Simmons.
My bad.
He just threw you under the bus. I mean, you probably deserved it, but he ain't have to do you like that, man. Shout out.
I ain't have to do neither one of them like that. My fault. My fault, BG.
Pull some stats on Coop. Coop got two NCAA titles. I only thought she had one. I didn't realize she won twice at USC.
All right, well, I want to know this in this debate with me because they were on the same team. Was Cooper better than Cheryl Miller?
Cooper went 114 wins and 15 losses in 4 seasons.
Yeah, but Cheryl Miller.
Did she do 105 at UCLA?
She was in high school.
That was a high school 105. Okay, well.
Is she better than Cheryl though?
Cheryl. I think it's hard to gauge that because when Cheryl was playing, there wasn't that much coverage.
We didn't see Cheryl. We only know folklore.
I'll tell y'all what.
She was there. She was the phenomenon there before Coop got there.
I met an old school white lady one time. No boys ain't never heard of a man named Nancy Lieberman Klein.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Ooh, sick with it too. I'm talking about.
She probably was the Pistol Pete, I think.
Basically, yeah.
But again, my question is this: dog, Cheryl Miller scored 100 points in a game, dog, as a guard. Like I think Lisa did it as a post. Lisa Leslie. I don't.
Did DeJuan Wagner hit 100?
Yeah.
To sell is the record, and it, like I said, it's no small feat. Like I said, it's nothing to bat child out of that. No matter what level you're at.
I just can't imagine someone doing that to me in high school, yo.
Exactly.
I would have hurt somebody. I would have been like,
exactly. Like she scored.
He would have came to the lane again.
She was the beginning of that. You remember they had a great run because then after that you had Cooper, then you had Tina Thompson. I think Tina went to USC, didn't she? I think she went, but it was a whole streak coming after them.
She was at USC and won it when we drafted her.
Right.
You know what that gotta look like? You remember those old Fresh Prince episodes where he was taking over the game, had the whole team
at the little private schools and all that.
Yeah. 100 on someone must look like because you at that point you telling your team don't guard your man, just guard this guy on the court. He's not gonna.
I told him, look, gave him that Charles Oakley and gave him that Oakley real quick and been like T'Challa on Black Panther. Delete that footage. You know what I'm saying? I hit him real quick. Like, we buried the tape. I'm going after everybody with tape, son. Everybody with the tape.
Lord have mercy.
I'm going at them.
All right, I'm cool with the list. I don't like the order. I'm gonna put Cheryl at number 1. I think it ain't nobody here. And people could say, well, that's just the time. I don't think it's nobody here without Cheryl Miller. That's just my opinion. She just played in the era where they didn't take numbers. And right after that, I'm doing Maya Moore. I just think Maya Moore was Jordan and retired.
Stuff I saw her do.
And then I throw Cooper in there in that mix. I put Cynthia Cooper in that mix. And everybody else can stay on this list, but I think they got to come after them.
No, because the act
and even your girl, you brought up a good point. Lieberman Klein got to be somewhere in there too.
Yeah, just somewhere. On the strength. But it's like you said, just a testament to Cheryl is like, can you imagine that? You got a Hall of Famer, gold jacket player, as your little brother, and you he's sitting him in the house crying every day because you're going on it for every night. That's how that household was.
Exactly. All right. Let's do one boxing question because I'm curious to know who will win this middleweight tournament. And what I mean by middleweight, I mean 160 pounds. Sugar Ray Robinson, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., Canelo Alvarez, Jake LaMotta, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Felix Trinidad. Now, every one of these guys I just named did eventually fight at 160. That's middleweight.
Trinidad.
Who wins that tournament out of all them guys? Sugar Ray Robinson, Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., Canelo Alvarez, Jake LaMotta, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Phoenix Trinidad. Now, remember this. Even though Sugar Ray Leonard went to 160, remember this. In this debate, was he his best at 160?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. So remember that when you answer this question, because that's going to be a part of my answer.
Was prime Roy Jones at 160?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But also Canelo Alvarez is in that conversation. Now, some people argue the greatest middleweight of all time is Marvin Hagler. He was great at 160.
It's true.
So who do y'all think? Let me start with you, Cole. Who do you think is the best at middleweight, or who will win this middleweight tournament out of all these guys?
I think if they're all in their prime, I just can't see no one beating Roy, because I don't think that you'll be able to hit Roy to knock him out. I think that he would have a soft enough chin where Canelo or Hagler could knock him out. But I don't see no one catching him. Right. And I think he's too technically sound for all of them. So
who you got, bro?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we in complete concurrence. Roy,
I think we all
because the thing is about Roy, not only did he have the chin game at 160, yeah, you couldn't rack him, you couldn't catch him. He had the most pop at 162. He would, if you would carve out a 160 out of stone and make them a boxer, like he and Bernard Hopkins, only two I've seen it of like naturals to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At 160 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'd even argue with that. I'll say Roy looked better than Bernard, because I think Bernard's best years was at 175, 168,
maybe
175,
light heavyweight king.
I think Roy Jones for 160 looked the best.
Yeah.
I think Roy Jones' prime years was from 160 to 168.
Look, they signed him to jump man during this. He was a jump man, but it might have been the first boxer I saw was a jump man.
Yeah. Then Andre Ward came after that, and Gennady Golovkin. But
Ward was incredible.
I think you got to put Gennady on this list too. Tito was right there too. But I just think it's Roy, man. I think Roy, his best years was at 160, 168.
You might know this. How much older was Roy when he beat Bernard? Because was Bernard almost kind of washed at that point?
No.
It was early.
You forgot about the first fight they had. You thinking about the second fight.
Yeah.
The first fight they had, Roy beat him. That was Roy early Roy career. He didn't outclass him.
He just beat him.
Was that before he got locked up?
Yeah. No. This is when he got out.
Okay.
This is when he got out.
They were starting that.
Right. And this is when this is the first part of Roy's career. Because I remember Roy telling this story, like everybody was like, man, he wanted to get a belt at 160. And Bernard had the IBF. He had just got out of jail. He had the IBF, and a lot of people were scared of him because he got out of jail and he was beating everybody. And Roy beat him. And nobody thought that anybody could beat Bernard at that time. And Roy beat him. And Roy was like, man, you can't match my speed. And so now the one Chuck talking about is when they got older, they moved up to light heavyweight, 175. Light heavyweight. It was light heavyweight at 175.
There wasn't much action.
And that's when I think Bernard was at his best. As he got older, when he got to 175, he's probably one of the best 175 pounds we've ever had.
You know who's missing off this list?
Who?
James Lights Out Tony.
There you go. He could be on this list.
At 160?
Yeah.
It's like, man.
But again, Roy beat him.
Roy beat him too. Yeah.
Roy beat him. Yeah. And because that was the two toughest fighters for Roy. It was Tony and Hop. But see, the thing about Tony was great at different weight classes. It's just at that time.
Was 12 at 175?
Yeah.
He was never at 160. He ended up fighting middleweight.
Tar was too big. In fact, I want to say when he fought Tony, they were at 168 for that fight.
You know who else wasn't bad though?
We're talking about 160.
Is Joe C 175?
Joe C.
Kawasaki was 160.
175.
He's 175 too?
Yeah,
175.
light heavy? Light heavyweight. Yeah. Yeah. He was undefeated too. Yeah, I think it's Roy at 160, man. All right, let's get out of here, man. Let's make our shout outs, man. Shout out to my man DeMar DeRozan, who just eclipsed I think he got 25,000 career points. Shout out to my man DeMar DeRozan. I think he gets in the hall, but it's gonna probably be controversial. Shout out to Juju, man, for being the first college woman athlete to sign a deal, an exclusive multi-year deal with Fanatics. She's the first to do it as a woman college athlete. So shout out to her. Shout out to my man T. Higgins for getting that contract. I'm really excited about him staying in Cincinnati. I was really looking at that. Shout out to my man Mad Max. Y'all know Max been doing well in the podcast game. They signed him to All the Smoke Productions with Stack and Matt Barnes. So he's gonna be on there cooking with them. Shout out to Max, man. Max is one of the best storytellers of all time, man. It's so funny, man. With Max, I mean, he man. Oh man, Max is a trip, man. But shout out to that, man. Shout out to my man Mike Bibby, who former 14-year NBA veteran and former Sacramento Kings star, has agreed on a deal to become the next men's basketball head coach at Sacramento State. All right. So shout out to Bib for doing that. And that's all my shout outs, man. Y'all got any shout outs, man? Go ahead.
My condolences to the Foreman family. You know what I'm saying? We lost a great one with that one, man. Like I said, shout out to y'all. Y'all keep your heads up. Man, shout out to Diana Taurasi. I sincerely apologize to you, my dear. Like I said, it wasn't nothing personal. These just takes. These just takes. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even popular takes. That's my take, you dig? So don't even worry about that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody out there grinding, doing their thing, man. Making it work.
Corey, you got any shout outs?
Word, I want to piggyback off that George Foreman, man. I will say he was the first boxer I ever watched boxing with my grandfather. It was him versus Kenneth Holmes. I remember watching them fight, man. Them old school nights where I think it used to be USA Boxing or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that was like my first introduction to boxing. Shout out to Jameis Winston, man, being signed. I hope he really makes the best of this opportunity. And you know, shout out to Chuck, man. You stay producing a good show, man. So I just wanted to give you a shout out as well, man.
Ain't that the truth, man? Shout out to Chuck for always holding it down. Well, man, I think that's it, man. We got March Madness coming up. We put our bets in. I think we had some excellent commentary tonight. Shout out to you two young men on this panel, man, making it happen. Let's stay tuned for the tournament, man. I'm going for U of H and Duke. Shout out to all those guys, man, that's in this NCAA tournament. Young men, enjoy this time in your life, man. And we're looking forward to the NFL draft coming up. We got a big spring coming up. We got baseball coming up. We got the NFL draft. Then we'll eventually get into the NBA playoffs. We'll crown an NCAA tournament soon, both male and female. And we roll it all into the summer, man. You know, we got the World Football Leagues and all that coming. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man.
WNBA next season.
Yeah, WNBA starting that next season. It's going to be a lot of anticipation going into that season. A lot of things going on in the offseason. They've got this one-on-one stuff that they've been doing.
Which is kind of dope.
Right.
I've been watching it.
Right. The 3-on-3. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that they don't have to go overseas to get in shape and stay in shape. So I like that. Shout out for women's basketball for making that happen. Shout out to the boxing game. It looks like we about to get into some good fights, man. We got Canelo coming up. He's going to try to get his IBF back. So when him and Crawford fights in September, which is official, they will fight in September. It's going to be for 3-time undisputed, because if Canelo gets his belt back, he's fighting in May. He's fighting William Skull. William Skull has the IBF, and Canelo has the remaining 3 belts: WBA, WBO, and WBA. If Canelo gets this belt from Skull, he'll be 2-time undisputed. Crawford is already 2-time undisputed. Whoever wins that fight in September will be 3-time undisputed. It'll be the first time in boxing history that we will have a 3-time undisputed champion. So looking forward to that, man. Got a lot of big things coming up. So let's stick around, man. Shout out to everybody that's on this stream. Shout out to everybody that gave us a thumbs up. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat, man. We right back at you. DWB episode 7, season 4, signing off. We appreciate you. We will see y'all next week. Good luck to everybody. Stay healthy, stay informed, and stay watching us here at DWB, the Sports Center of Mo Sense Entertainment, and we out.
Debate with bait. Season 4. Let's go. Here we go, debate with Bake, sports show, season 4, live at Mo City Radio. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We just giving opinions, supporting it with proof. Let's look at the stats, cause numbers tell the truth. It ain't no hating, we just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Shout out the Prize Picks for the daily fantasy. Invest a few dollars, let's do some gambling. C-Bake got the topics, and he keep it cracking. Laro got the commentary, and he never lacking. Cole with the game, he live from the Big Apple. You know, Mo Serious Entertainment made it happen. Another sports show, we live from the Mo. Debate with Bake, season 4, let's go.